Hey everyone, welcome to the Doomsday Roundtable. Last week we talked about CMEs, EMPs, power-killing computer viruses. We talked about what they were, what might cause them, what your personal heads-up and psychological impact of those things might be. We've got some different people today. We've brought, unfortunately, Chris, aka Miller, and our friend Pat could not make it. So we brought in an ex-medic, and we brought in an ex-military. And we're here to discuss today what things would possibly work, what wouldn't. Do you guys have a plan? Do you have, for the worst case scenario? Does everybody have a bag to get home? That kind of thing. So if we're good to go, let me know. That way we can say, yes, they're hearing us, all is well. Is anybody even here?
Not yet.
Nobody's even here, but that's okay. I'm going to start the conversation anyway. So,
Quit looking that way.
I got you. So, what would possibly work?
Nothing of interest to me.
Nothing interests a little Susie or Sally because all they got is their freaking Instagram going on and how freaking popular they think they're no longer going to be.
Actually, that probably should have been addressed last week, but that is fantastic. How popular you're not going to be anymore. I mean, you think about it. You have 10,000 Instagram friends or Facebook friends, and how many of them now know you?
Here's a prime example, Mom and Dad. Every time you've moved and you've lost satellite or you've lost cable and you have to take a week for the cable people to freaking show up, imagine what your 10-year-old was acting like then. Imagine it permanently.
Oh, God.
I forgot to add that the ex-medic is also very bitter, but that's okay. It's that experience without internet. Okay, so what would work?
I don't know, but I'd like to add a quick disclaimer that the views expressed by people at this roundtable are not necessarily the same views as Break Channel 13 or the people who run it. Thank you.
Truth. Truth.
I think carbureted vehicles would work.
Carbureted vehicles, most of them, yes.
Most of them. There are some that have electrical components that obviously would just shut it down, oddly enough. But for the vast majority of the time, carbureted vehicles, 80s, 70s, so on and so forth, they'd still turnkey, they'd still crank.
I wonder if there's a way to bypass those systems.
Ask anybody who changed their diesel into something that runs on French fry oil.
That's a good point. I mean, but when you change over from diesel to French fry, are you actually changing, like, I mean, if there's a computer, CME in there, or CME, wow, and what is it? It's the ECM.
ECM.
If the ECM is actually used for the ignition, is it?
Well, in the diesel, it's not a... For those of you who are better at this than we are, gas versus diesel, one's an ignition, one's a glow plug, one's a different combination of the two. So you may not necessarily have to have an ECU for the spark and the timing of the spark versus the fuel mixture. But it's a bit different filter setup. It's a different that can easily be done without a computer, by the way.
Okay,
the
so
French fry guys.
So certain vehicles will agree, some will, but something newer, something past, say, 93.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's got like a 2013 Ford Fusion, that thing's a brick. It's not moving.
Yeah, you can hide behind it.
Yeah.
How about all your green vehicles where you're looking at,
Oh, good luck.
the battery?
No.
Well, convert the battery to something else that'll hold a charge and convert that to your solar cell people. That's what I'd use that big bottom section of that car for. I'd convert it to something that wasn't going to be a mode of transportation.
It's not a bad idea.
Because the computer system on that isn't going to work right.
Well, I know they use marine batteries that are deep cycled.
Right.
I suspect is a car battery because I mean it's just a big huge battery in those.
It's wired together as a big battery. If you cut it apart, it's a bunch of double A's.
Is
It really is. It's a bunch of AA batteries all wired together.
Okay, so people who would be on, say, the VRE,
So the train system,
right? That's
You better hope to get the hell off.
yeah.
You're not underground or you're not above ground.
Well, you know, here's a kicker with the VREs. If I remember correctly, the VRE's electrical system is going to be ultimately, I think that's actually a component of the braking system. So if your electrical goes out, so does your braking system. So in essence, you're just coasting to a stop. So hopefully it didn't have to apply any brakes. Stopping.
Yeah, the lack of electricity going to it, you can't propel forward. So
Yeah.
just the forward momentum is shut off because you no longer have electrical power. Well, that's a safe way to come into a stop. That ain't bad.
are the doors gonna open? You get a prime open.
Well, luckily they're designed as a fail-safe too.
They are.
It's not like being stuck in an elevator in a high-rise
Huh.
where you need somebody like him or what we used to do or stuff like that where you drop keys and stuff like that and hope you're not between levels.
Yeah.
But and nobody in there panicking. That would be a good idea. Chill out, everybody.
Right?
Anybody on an elevator is going to hate life.
We're underground in the metro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty much, you don't want to be in an airplane unless you're in one of the presidential airplanes or military airplanes.
Which are degaused. That's an older term, but I guess it's kind of goes with the same idea.
I think so. What do you think? You're not adding anything into this conversation.
Well, we just ran funny talking about people and how they're going to act.
I'm
think
I'm enjoying my internet and electronics while I can.
Well, you can.
Yeah, see, the man behind the screen and the voice of Break Channel 13 is hoping for the best.
Okay, so you get off the VRE, you scuttled out of the elevator, you're dead because you fell out of the sky in an airplane. That doesn't matter. You're not worried about communicating then. Or you're on an interstate and the car just dies, but the one behind you was good, so it just rear-ended you. But a champ.
Made of American metal, and it's going to just,
Like a champ. Okay, so at this point, you got to think, okay, so you can't really talk to anybody. Your cell phones are lumps.
Right.
Right. I mean, if they were somehow shielded, they might be okay, but they're still not going to work because all your cell phone towers.
And satellites.
No,
presumably.
on top of that, if you've only got one cell phone in the world that's covered up, who the hell are you going to talk to? All the other ones are fried.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Okay, so then the next part of this question is, do you and your family and friends have a plan for the worst case scenario? Have you actually thought about this? Do you have a actual plan that's kind of sitting there? Do you have one that's super formed where you're well, you're not crazy prepper. I can't say crazy prepper.
Well, I have a plan. I'm going to knock on my neighbor's door.
Yeah. Because your neighbor has a plan. I mean, okay, so we're going to look at it from this perspective. You are, we'll go light. You are 20 miles away from home. 20 miles. The car is dead. It's dead. Everybody else's car is dead, except for those few, because none of us drive. None of us are everyday driver is necessarily an old enough vehicle, right? So that being the case, what are you gonna do? What's your first move? Do you have a bag?
Cry.
Do you have enough?
Cry.
First move is to cry.
Cry.
Well, I mean, there is time for that. There's time for crying. So, if you're 20 miles from home, do you have enough stuff in your vehicle with you that you could constitute a go bag, go get home bag? Do you already have a get home bag? I mean, I have a number of bags and way more than enough stuff to get me home, to be honest. I have extra shoes. But do you actually have these things?
Yeah, I keep that in my trunk. That's everywhere I go. There's anything from medical to different clothes to, you know, I even have little water purifier tablets to go in there.
Me on the other hand, I have absolutely, well, I can get myself out of a snowbank, that's about it. But holding my ground or having to go a distance, unfortunately, no.
Okay, what about you, Mike?
I'd be pretty screwed, honestly. I mean, I don't really have anything to, I mean, I guess I'd start walking if I was in the middle of nowhere.
Except he's got to, with those individuals with the diesels, I think if you don't shut it down,
As long as I don't turn it off.
as long as you don't turn it off, you've got a better chance because diesels like to sustain the motor itself, the mechanism of the fire, the fuel, the air. They like to perpetually go.
You know what sucks about that? How would I know what happened?
Everybody else stop.
With no brake lights.
You'd be going, "Dah!"
I wouldn't know what
Everybody else is Fred Flintstoning, and you're just putting along. So everybody else is waiting for you to show up. I don't know. I mean, those individuals. Well, you better find somebody who's got the 454 big block and the 71 Chevelle SS, because chances are that's going to keep running. Those are the people you might want to, you know, you're bitching at them every weekend when they fire that son of a bitch up in the driveway next door to you, rattling your damn windows. You know what? You better start sucking up to them. And damn it, it's cold outside. I'm cold now. Keep making it warmer. Thank you.
So,
I'm the comic relief for the evening.
You know, I think after your vehicle runs out of gas, assuming it is something that could run, or maybe it just shut off, there's a couple of things you got to think of. It's the basic human needs of survival. So you have to have clean water, something that you can hydrate with, rather. You have to have fire or some way to stay warm. And you're going to have a means of shelter to keep yourself covered in case of weather. So as long as you really, what it really boils down to, as long as you have those three things, and you consistently have those three things,
right.
then
That's a good point.
you'll be able to make it wherever you need to go. You might not be making it comfortable.
Sure.
Oh, nobody gonna be comfortable.
No. But
Well, you figure if the scenario is 20 miles and you walk what? At a leisurely pace of 2.5.
I can make it to 20 miles.
Right.
I'm not gonna be much of use after 20 miles, but
Right.
if that's where I gotta go and somebody says, you gotta get 20 miles, I'll make it.
Right.
We
But,
just
but now if
carry
you're
mine.
looking at something more like 50 miles, you're going to need to camp.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm good, but I ain't that good.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you don't have these things with you, so me and him, we're pretty square. We do have these things. You two do not normally carry these things. What really and truly would be your master plan at that point? I mean, what do you assume you really would be capable of doing? Would you feel like you had the skills to just handle it? Would you swing by the 7-Eleven and rob them blind? I mean,
I'm pretty sure that wouldn't be I wouldn't be the only person with that idea.
right?
I'm pretty sure that it would suddenly turn into mob rule pretty darn quick once people came to the realization that what they knew was normal is no longer normal.
I wonder if you'd be okay at that point. I mean, if it's immediately, that's when it's, most people are trying to help everybody at the beginning of a catastrophe.
Right, but that wears thin really quickly. I would, that's when martial law comes in, and that's when the government goes, we'll take care of this, and we're the guys with the guns, and everybody go into this little area over here and just hang out. We won't tell you anything. I'm afraid of the mushroom syndrome.
The mushrooms?
Shrooms? No. Not,
I'm
but
afraid of
I'm
shrooms.
pretty sure that might be some people, again, there might be some people we want to hang out with. No, kept in the dark and fed shit all the time. Nobody's going to tell you what's going on because nobody can tell you what's going on. Nobody's really going to know what's going on. And how do you, I'm trying to, not digest the information, it's how do you get that information out? I mean, we've all seen the Doomsday TV shows or the series where it's like, well, this is how society makes it back. One step at a time kind of thing. Somebody comes up with a good idea, but the bigger issues will never get fixed in the lifetime of people who are going through the initial.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden, whatever catastrophe strikes the entire planet, the generation that's dealing with it immediately isn't going to see the fix. Now, granted, that's kind of self-defeating. How does a society move forward by going, well, if I'm not going to be around for it, screw everybody. There's plenty of other people who don't think that way.
Right. People who are like, let's do this for the children.
But those are the ones that are pissing you off because they don't have cable now.
I think kids are going to have to get used to going back outside.
Well, they didn't know what it was like to go outside in the first place.
I know.
Your generation is the last one to probably remember doing that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, that's sad, but that's true. And I think what you're going to see is a lot of disarray, but in the process of us making it back home, or we're going back to the whole cars being you're 20, 50 miles away. Might I add, if you're 20 miles away, you're still camping out. There's a reason for that, because you're not pushing the pace to get home.
Right. Well, if you're going, maybe my math is wrong, but if you're going at 2.5 miles an hour and you need to make it 20 miles, that's 8 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Corey Andre is watching apparently,
Hey, Corey.
and he says when normality ceases to exist, then the mob mentality takes over fast.
I agree with that. The mob mentality does take over fast, but if you pay attention to what happened during 9/11, when those buildings were hit, people were looking to help everybody. And I don't know if it would be as big of a ta-da without buildings falling. But there were people a whole lot of people were trying to help. I mean, and that being the case, it makes me wonder if you'd have a much safer trip, at least in those first 10 hours, maybe 12 or 24 hours to get home.
It's also going to depend on, of all things, it's going to depend on the political climate. And also, might I also add that when Katrina hit, there was some people who helped, there were some people who looted.
That's true.
So you're going to have a fair share of people who loot. It's a lot easier to do the wrong thing than it is the right thing. A lot of people look at the easier route.
Okay, so part of what you need water, food, shelter.
Mhm.
You need to be able to protect yourself.
Right.
Now, or you need to be able to be covert. Be away from the people as fast as possible.
If you want to keep what's yours, or what you think is yours.
Right. So if you're thinking, well, okay, mob mentality that Corey was talking about, if you see the mob mentality starting, this is the part where you break for it. You leave.
If that's a solution that benefits you, and you figure that's going to be the easiest way to not get caught up in it, but hence the term mob.
Mob, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do think that people, there will be people there to help. And I know that, from my past careers, my whole thought process would be immediately to help. But at the same time, I have a family that I want to get to. So I don't think I'd be helping anybody, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and with the help aspect of that, you got someplace you can go back to that's safe. So
Right.
you're comfortable enough knowing that, oh, okay, I can stick my neck out for this person because, I can make it better for them because I'm not being stressed out by the fact that now I don't have anything. Now, there's probably plenty of people out there that can go with the idea of, I don't need anything, so I'm gonna help as much as I possibly can. And God bless them,
Right.
you know.
Well, I guess I'm still talking about that initial walk home. If I'm still in that,
Right.
so I haven't even got to that place where I know I have everything I need.
Yeah.
I'm standing on the side of 95,
Mhm.
going, this bites.
Yeah.
And then I'm opening the back of my car and taking out the things that I believe I need.
Yeah, and then you could make
Right.
a move of 20 miles with, you know.
Right. I mean, I don't want to be overloaded, obviously. But I'm going to take out the things I need.
And now personally, myself, I would just be thinking of, I know it sounds stupid, but getting to my dogs. That would be my thing, is getting to my dogs. I'm not worried about water once I get there, because
Right.
there's a well there, and even if the pump's not running it, I can rip the lid off or something and find a way
Yeah.
to get the water to my mouth.
String in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, and I know
You
my
would be-
neighbor is probably going to have a decent setup, or she has a whole bunch of poultry in the backyard that can become soup really
Hey,
quick.
no. Whoa. Whoa. Let's rein the soup in. They make eggs.
Okay, not right now. They don't. You gonna wait until they do?
Okay, some of them might make soup, but not all of them. Oh my God.
I'm not saying kill everything. You don't eat a good pig all at once.
I think the one thing we're kind of missing here is in the very beginning, everyone tends to have a form of denial.
Yes.
Very true.
You're going to have a lot of people, if you're, let's take 95, for example. If you're on 95, let's say it's rush hour and something like this were to occur where everything just shuts off, you're going to have a lot of people just standing around waiting. A lot of people are literally going to be sitting in their cars just waiting.
Yeah.
So,
Waiting for help.
yeah, the kicker there is that, are you going to be one of those people that wait and think, well, maybe this will pass? Or are you one of those people that actually take the initiative to get out of the car, recognize that you're leaving your, whatever vehicle you're making a payment on behind, to go all the way home? Are you going to, a lot of people don't realize, they're going to be thinking about their finances. They're going to be thinking about, well, if I'm out of this car, if I leave it, someone's going to break into it. What if everything comes back on? What if, this is something that's easily fixed?
Well, at the same time, you're not going to know what the overall coverage of this. I mean, we're
Exactly.
discussing this as a global event. I
Right.
understand that.
And no one would know.
Would you riding 995, you're going to go, was it global?
Exactly.
I'm not going to know if it was
Or was it
global.
this strip of 95?
I think
Yeah.
as soon as I realize that my car's not running, and I mean, I would be like, nothing's happening. I'm just doing that. Click. I'm like, what the hell?
Anu says don't eat the chickens.
Don't eat the chickens.
That's right. And
Thank you, Anu.
we need to listen to Anu. She makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Now, there's also
she's probably making them sweaters right now.
Or radiation suits.
Yes, little radiation suits.
Huh.
So as soon as I realize, okay, there is a block that is of non-running cars. There's an accident where they've rear-ended this one. This is, and depending on what time it is, there's no streetlights now either. I'm in pitch black. I'm probably not going to wait. I mean, I agree that a lot of people are. Matter of fact, I know I'm not. I'm going to be like, okay, so I tried like 10 times to start this car in succession because I'd be hard pressed to let go of that car. But at the same time, I'd be thinking, no, I need to get out of here. And the car is no use to me at this point.
Okay, I agree with that, but I think there's going to be a lot more to it before you just take off. First of all, you're going to see if you can get that car to the side of the road. You're going to. It's a natural instinct to push your car up to the side of the road just in case everything does come back on. Then you're going to try and find out what the hell is going on. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit in that car on the side of the road and get your phone out.
Oh, no,
Try and see what's
and then I
going
know
on.
it's done.
So the phone's not working. Okay, well, that might be an issue. Okay, so then, hey, dude, do you know anything that's going on? There's going to be like clusters of people everywhere trying to figure out what's going on.
That's true.
And then you'd be like, all right, I guess I got to get home. And then you're going to go.
Now I finally remember the word I was looking for, disseminate the information.
Because we're all under the assumption that if that car stops, we all just automatically, okay, well, that's it. All right, everything's down. We know what's going on. We know exactly what's going on because we're paranoid people. And this is exactly what happened. What? My car won't start? EMP! No. You're going to try and figure out everything that you can
Right.
before you leave.
Yeah, but I mean, if I see, I know there's no brake lights, there's no this, there's no that, my phone's not working.
Especially in the middle of the night.
But you're going to take the time to exhaust all that. You're going to exhaust all that first before you just decide, okay, this is it.
I'm gonna say within 15 minutes I would know. And I don't think that I would be that person to say, hey buddy, do you know what's going on? Because I hate people. So I would probably, I don't really hate them, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, right. But I mean, in a situation like that, I'm sure everybody in New York does not have the greatest reputation for being nice to each other. But yet when 9/11 happened, except for Starbucks, who didn't want to give anybody bottled water, everybody became friends.
That's
Trying to help each other.
But then we go back to the political climate.
Are you a liberal? You're screwed.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, like, literally, there's a lot of divide that's in the country today, and I would dare say it really hasn't gone much of anywhere. It's probably always been there in the grand scheme of things. It's just been more publicized now. So if something were to happen now, then yeah, you would have a potential political divide of people. A lot of people don't like talking to people anymore. It's not the day and age where you drive down the road and someone waves at you going the other way. Instead, people just don't talk. I mean, we all have neighbors that we don't know anything about, yet we've lived by them for so many years.
I think the people that wave at each other the most while driving down the road are bus drivers.
Yeah.
You ever notice school bus drivers are always, little ladies are always waving at each other? They're
Yeah.
probably the friendliest people you see on the road. After that, forget it.
Yeah.
And bikers.
Bikers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, bikers. I'm one of them. My bad.
I don't think there's anybody on his about here.
Well, not yet.
Let's see. Who's on here with us right now? It would be, I knew. Yeah, and Pat just said that it's both of them, apparently. This is both of us.
Well,
I just
Pat,
told them if he types anything, I'll read it.
you need to add something to the conversation, Pat. I know you have your notebook.
Bust out your notes, buddy.
Might I add another thing? If you're out in the middle of the night or even the middle of the day and everything goes out, if there are aircraft in the sky,
And you watch them fall?
well, here's the thing. Let's say you might not even see them fall because you're not looking up. You might be looking down at your car. Well, the moment you start hearing boom, 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 boom,
Now you know it's bad.
Okay,
now
yeah.
you know it's bad. And
Yeah.
on top of that, for all you know, you could be getting bombed. There could be, it could be an attack. Now everyone who's on that stretch of road is going to be either under the assumption that they're under attack, or they're going to be the ones that were maybe looking up, seeing planes falling out of the sky.
Depending on
At
what
that
part of
point-
95 you're on, you
Exactly.
might see the planes coming out of the sky.
Yeah. So at that point, it would be a very clear indicator as
Wow.
far as it's time to leave.
Now
That's
I
a really good
got. Now he just reminded me of something, and this will go along the lines of anybody who's sitting there going that. And you mentioned that whatever section of 95 you're on, we all know that's Maine to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Where we happen to be located, and I don't know if you guys discussed that, but geographically speaking, we're south of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, about 45 minutes south.
Right. About equidistant between Key West and like Bangor, Maine. I don't know what is the top
I think that's about right. Yeah, I see what you're
Maine
saying.
before you hit Canada, for Christ's sake.
We're central on
Okay,
95.
boom. There we go. Geographically speaking, we're in the middle. If some bad guy or groups thought it was, their idea of dirty bomb time, we are geographically right now in the worst place to be
Oh, yeah.
if somebody got the bright idea to let off a dirty bomb on the I-95 corridor of the East Coast. You would paralyze the East Coast
Oh, yeah.
completely.
Well,
Trains, cars, trucks, transportation in general.
the
Guess
Marine
what?
Corps.
We got Quantico right north of us. We've got Langley Air Force Base south of us. We've got Oceana south of us. We've got Andrews Air Force Base a little northeast of us. This is a pretty tight spot here and heavily populated. But if you want to, unfortunately, we're in a spot that you could bring the East Coast to its knees, transportation-wise, if something big enough and bad enough happened right here.
Well, really doesn't have to be that big. If they,
Right, bad enough.
bad enough, yes. If they can get, and there's been a lot of articles out now where all these major governments are going, bad guys that to us are saying, they're working on EMPs. I always think that,
But they are limited in what man makes what you can carry for an EMP that's going to cause that kind of, or even stick it in a truck.
it doesn't have to be that big.
But it's going to have a declined radius compared to what the topic that you guys have been having to deal with.
Right, that would not be global, but if somebody could set one off 300 feet in the air over the United States, over the East Coast, they're taking out a nice chunk of the power grid, and then the rest of it's just going to fall. They may not turn off everybody's cars. If you're, sitting in Richmond and it went off at Baltimore, then your car might be fine.
Yeah, and you all discussed it before about localized that progressed.
Right.
Absolutely. 1972, what was the 1800s when y'all were talking?
Yeah, 1866.
Yeah, and then you got, the New Yorkers, and somebody was already mentioned the New Yorkers and stuff, and it's like, well, 1971, 1972, the rolling blackout there.
Right.
And then you had the largest influx of babies being born 9 months later. Hey, New Yorkers! What else you gonna do in the dark?
Yes, that's right. Prepare for a baby boom.
Yeah, could happen.
People are going to be bored.
Yeah.
That's actually a long-term thing. Yeah, people are going to be bored.
Well, I'm going to disagree. Yeah, you're right. They're going to be bored for the first week. Well, I think they're going to be safe. Within that 3-day period, 3, 4, maybe 7 days for some people, those diehards, they're going to think that somebody's going to come save them. Most people aren't going to trust if there's a militia that rolls through, you really don't know if that's the government.
There's a lot of them out there.
Right. They can say they're the United States government. They could say, we're here for this. You know what, back the F up, man, because I'll blow your head off if you come close to my property. So, yes, they're going to be bored for those first 3. Hey, baby. 3 nights.
Yeah, but then 9 months later, what do you?
Right, then you got to issue 9 months later. But eventually, you got to work hard to live without power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a group of people who would be just fine. Yeah, the Amish. That's when the Amish take over the world.
That's when I become friends with them.
Except they don't have any social skills, so we already talked about we don't have social skills. So
It's okay.
That's when they go, we were right. What you doing now?
I didn't. What, they were right with electricity is the devil? What?
Yes, they were right. Electricity is the devil.
I don't know about that.
They got us all addicted to it.
Well, then,
And then it just leaves us.
praise the electrician then. I don't know.
Okay, so let's see here.
You know what? We forget about Gilligan's Island. I mean, they had power.
And still couldn't get off that damn island neither.
That's fine. Don't need
You
to
can
get
make a
off the
battery out
island.
of a coconut and couldn't get off that damn island.
I would train my dogs to run inside of a little wheel.
Honestly,
You would not train Thor. Pepe would be like, yeah, I got this, man.
I honestly think the Amish.
Alex joined us, and she says that we would have great furniture apparently because of the Amish.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, no.
Sturdy.
Yeah, but I think it'd probably be taken over at that point. You're starting to look at territories.
But fortunately, they're peaceful people.
But they have food.
Yeah, but the
and
Amish
water.
Mafia wasn't a good show.
Corey Andre says, scary thought, the Amish ruling the world.
Well, I mean, let's face facts.
Oh, come on, you would laugh at anybody who says, my name is Smuckers and I'm going to take over the world. You'd laugh right in his face.
Yeah.
You would.
Okay, so we need to understand that we become degenerates pretty quickly.
President
Wait,
Smucker.
there's no be calm in some cases. Already there. Already there.
So, yeah, I mean, the Amish are primed for it.
Yeah.
They don't use power. They're not on the internet. They can do everything that we can't.
Yeah, but they do, but there is Rothspringer, so what is it, for 2 years they get a year or however it is, whatever amount of time they get to run
how
around
long
and
it is, but yeah.
get to figure
Alex
it out.
says, do they have weapons?
The Amish?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. They don't have, to my knowledge, they don't have any heavy weapons. But I mean, you talk
Guns.
shotguns, rifles, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. They hunt.
I thought they were just farmers.
No,
Maybe like,
they put
you know,
down animals. They put
Triceratops
down
and
the big
fucking
animals,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hunt.
pigs and cows and stuff. They don't go down with just a 22 that often.
Exactly. The thing is, the Amish. Here's why I don't think they're going to be really much of relevance. Yeah, they have their farmlands and their little civilizations, and they kind of work within each other and themselves. But when you start looking at, as the years go by, or maybe as the months go by, you start looking for people who are hungry and people who want food now, people who have banded together, such as militias. They have bigger firepower than just a little Amish town. So if they see fertile land and they see crops and they see a barn and they see basically something that they can claim as theirs, it's conquering it. That's what conquering is. So
I can see that, but I can also see that the Amish are very industrious in the regards of, it wouldn't surprise me to find out there's big pits all over the place.
Yeah, just because you think you're going to take something over doesn't mean it's going to. You can't make it work. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
Patrick
And
says
you need
after
them.
the initial shock of what the fuck it would be, there'd be panic as people figure out there would not be food. And then he also included that Abraham and Ezekiel would be mob bosses.
Absolutely.
What do you think I said about it?
yeah,
Don Smucker?
I'd be like, whoa, you want some bread, huh? Well, let's talk. What do you have for me? Where'd you get that accent? I thought you were Amish. It comes with the title, I'm the boss.
Northern New York, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
yeah.
Get a more of a Midwestern there. There we got. Hey, Chicago. There we go. The Amish from Chicago.
Mm.
Are there Amish in Chicago?
The Amish will
Oh, the
band
Midwest.
together.
They're the Midwest. They go all the way. The Mennonites go all the way through, all the way to like Idaho.
I know there's a lot of them in Pennsylvania.
Idaho.
Exactly.
You ever wonder if they have like conversations like this and like their contingency plan, what they're going to do if the power goes out, how they're going to take over the world? And
No, I do think that they think about us attacking them.
Oh, they're paranoid.
Well,
Completely paranoid. Well, they're a closed society.
yeah,
You can't just join. So that's a
Yeah.
closed society.
Well, I mean, it would happen. People are like that now, that if things went bad and went south real quick, that they would attack the Amish, trying to take over their land.
Yeah.
Which
and-
would be unfortunate because they don't know how to work the land like the Amish do.
Shows that were so terrible. You watch them all with automatic weapons. That was freaking hilarious. And then they go after somebody with a baseball bat. But here's my automatic. Here's my AR. So
Jeez.
I'm gonna beat you with the death with a baseball bat. I think that's another thing on that one. Made sense to me.
Yeah, you should. I would. I'm not gonna lie. I'd go and try to befriend them.
if you're smart, yeah.
First,
It's don't try to make enemies if you can't, you know.
I'd be like, look,
I mean,
I have
well-
some extra chickens.
The trade.
Trade you.
did you ever watch the show? What is it called? Leaving the Amish thing.
Yeah.
Like they'd be like, "Did you ever watch that show?" You'd be like, "Oh yeah, it was good." Well, we don't know. Go away.
No, I'd be like,
Breaking
Yeah.
Amish.
Breaking Amish.
I think that's what it's called.
A news says that she heard the Amish are actually one of the fastest growing groups in the U.S. And Corey Andre says, "Have any of y'all heard of the Georgia Guidestones?"
I have heard of the Georgia Guidestones, and yes, the Amish, their population is growing and growing faster than anybody else. It is true. It is amazing in regards of how they're doing, and so quietly.
But
Corey, remind me of the Georgia Guidestones because it's in my head, but I can't remember what. I can't remember what the hell.
well, let's not wait because there's a delay.
Right.
There's
Okay.
a
So there's these big guidestones and
Oh, wait a
different
minute.
languages.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Corey, got it. Thank you. It's in
Is
my
it-
head now.
I think is it Kentucky or Georgia?
Yeah. But yeah, nobody understands the certain one of the languages is on
What
there.
did you say?
so-
Which Guidestones? Where are they?
The Georgia Guidestones.
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia Guidestones.
Which is creepy the way that all came about.
Oh, it was some industrialist that put the money up to have it.
There was a group. I bet the group is anonymous.
Kind of like, all right, now, let's not go down the Illuminati path tonight. That's a whole other ball game. We'll stick to the.
Yeah, they were made in 1980, so they're not too old.
No, they're not.
No, but it was really shady deals in regards of
Yeah.
no one.
So there's a set of 10 guidelines is inscribed on the structures in 8 modern languages, and a shorter message is inscribed on top of the structure.
Okay, you got it. I was just looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Corey. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's pretty creepy. I mean, some of the stuff they have is kind of
Well, it's kind of end of days kind of stuff.
Well, it's all end of days. It's all
Yeah.
on how to rebuild a society, but
Right.
there's some eugenics in there.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's kind of, twisted, but for them to they put it up in multiple languages.
Yeah, well, them brothers in eugenics, so were the Germans.
So yeah, that's a very good, thing to think about. How many people would go there knowing about that?
Anu said that, well, either Anu or Pat, I'm not sure. I think the Amish have regular guns. Is that opposed to the ones that just shoot wheat and barley?
Sorry.
They definitely have regular guns.
Go on.
They definitely. I mean, they're not using laser sights.
Why not?
Electric.
Electrical. They also don't have night vision. Electrical.
But they will drive a Mercedes.
Well, I mean, it's stored electric.
Really?
Is there a difference?
That stupid show.
Because, I mean, you can battery power a laser.
I don't think they have any electricity
No.
in them whatsoever.
Yeah, they don't-
You're thinking of the
battery
Mennonites. They have laser sights.
Yeah, the Mennonites have laser sights and batteries. But
And phones.
The Amish, no, they don't even use batteries. It's evil. EVOL.
I'm sorry, they what? They
They-
don't believe in gravity, did you say that? Is that
No,
what you
I said they don't even use batteries.
I thought you said they don't believe in gravity. I'm like,
Actually,
wow, I
actually,
didn't know you had that faith.
I have to check that because they have to have marker lights on their buggies when they ride at night. So they do have battery operated lights on the buggies to be on public roads, especially in Pennsylvania.
From Pat,
Okay.
does anyone keep maps in their car?
Yep.
anymore?
Yep.
Absolutely.
And his sister lived in Lancaster and said it was often hard to tell who was Amish.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because at the hospital you can sure tell who the Amish are.
Well, I mean, mainly we're seeing Mennonites down here, I think.
Yeah, because there's a lot of electricity at the hospital, so yeah.
Right. I mean, they're related.
A lot of Eastern Mennonite in Maryland. A lot of Amish, Pennsylvania, and a lot of Mennonite heading out northwest.
Yeah.
Or in case you guys are looking northwest.
Okay, so let's figure this out. So we've determined that I'm golden, you're golden when it comes to, oh my gosh, everything stopped on 95, you can't get home. You're gonna make it. I mean, you've been in some nasty situations throughout your life.
I'm gonna be a little stressed out. My anxiety will run high because I can't just Google a question. But yeah,
Right. But you make it home with that whole thought of your dogs are there.
Yep.
And you'd make it home because, well, you just crotchety your way home.
Yeah.
Anger, he'd be fueled on anger and rage. Who
Pretty
needs
much.
water? I
Yeah.
have rage.
Yeah, get out of my way.
a lot of Amish are not as devoted as others.
You're going to find that with any
Yeah,
organized
that's
religion as well. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to argue that one.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that because as far as I'm concerned, the political left and right have taken over religion. That's the new religion. Your political outlook on life is of religion now.
That's really a shame.
They're just, I mean, they're ready to kill each other over it. So anyway, whole nother podcast.
So as far as anybody watching this, if you're going to see the comments, you're going to have, I'm sure you're going to have something to add to this conversation. But if you think about it, and if you read the news lately and you see the threat of EMP going up, I'm always, the CME is going to happen. When? May not be in my lifetime, but it is going to happen. Technology will fail. Eventually, it is going to fail. That being the case, do you have a plan? Is there a bag in your car that you can easily pick up and walk away with?
I divorced 3 years ago.
But
I don't think you said that loud enough. Just muttering.
It wasn't important.
No, I guess it wasn't. So next week is going to be a really long show. I'm certainly, not next week, 2 weeks from now. It's going to be a really long show. I'm certainly hopeful that everybody makes it this time. It sucks that our guys aren't here. Chris, I know you're gonna watch this later. You kind of suck, dude, but I get what you were doing. Make sure you add your comments in, or I'll be forced to come back and say you agree with everything I say. It's just the way it is. Pat, thanks for joining in. You know, you could have actually added your face to it, but we'll let you slide because it's technology. It could get kind of scary.
Pat says you better have a plan now and get in good shape to take a long hike, and he will be here 2 weeks.
He absolutely, okay, so he just opened up a whole thing that made me go, I can't stop right now. Get in shape. Because you see all these people who are walking around with all these, I find it interesting when I see a lot of preppers who can't walk that 20 miles.
Now see, it's funny because I am overweight and I have issues, but I take medication for it, but I could walk 20 miles.
Oh, I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. Of course, you could be hung out 70 miles or 50 miles away.
Well, the preppers weren't planning on leaving their property in the first
Why
place.
you be
They're
like
gonna get
that?
arrested.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't got warrants. They're not leaving their property in the first
God,
damn place.
Well,
But the-
okay, you got a point. True preppers,
Okay, 70,
I got warnings.
70, 100 miles, I'm finding the nearest bike and stealing it.
Hey, pedal power is not
That's-
wrong with
that's
that.
true.
Yeah, it's-
A moped would work.
that's true. And those
Yeah,
those folding bikes.
the gearing ratio, you're gonna wear yourself out because it just
Well, no, I mean, the motor on a moped would most likely still work because the pedal actually
is
It
generates the
the
majority of
Yes,
electricity.
If you
it's
can
the
find
starter.
one, if you can find one that still does that.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
most
they
of-
still, our mopeds over there that are sold over at FMS, they're Kickstart.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Their battery, but if the battery dies, it's Kickstart.
Yeah,
Neat.
Well, we're breaking into his joint.
I'd be finding something like that and powering my way home somehow.
Be a lot of dirt bikes going around.
But there is one thing, the biggest thing I think to consider
Old Harleys.
in a bad situation like this is
Yes,
you're gonna have to have your essentials of human survival, and you're gonna have some sort of medical, think trauma or medicine, so you break a leg or you get sniffles.
Well, you break a leg and
You break a leg, you're kind
Yeah,
of fucked.
then triage comes in, and then, yeah, guess what?
Yeah.
You know?
Gonna pat you down.
Yeah, yeah. Fluffy going down.
Yeah, well, what I'm getting at is you definitely want to have your essentials for just basic human survival, so your water, your food, have something at least for 3 days. And then past that, you're looking at your medical and your defense. So if you're the type of person that carries a firearm, then I encourage you to carry it all the time. Or at least keep something of the sort to defend yourself. It could be a machete for all I care.
right,
Something to defend
an
yourself.
expandable baton,
Yeah.
shoot a walking stick.
Pat says motorcycles, dirt bikes, go-karts. I was just sitting there thinking that a stick shift would
Yeah,
probably
so-
be able to run because, I mean,
Yeah.
even if the alternator doesn't work because of the EMP, I've driven a car with no alternator running.
Oh, we've done,
Just gotta do it during the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got no headlights, because nothing's going back to that, I mean, obviously no battery and no alternator, yeah, I get that.
I wait
And for
until
those
I
of
was
you who
running
always have the
too.
sniffles and think going to the ER at 3 o'clock in the morning is what you're gonna be doing after the EMP goes off, good luck.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be crowded. People will be just
And
anxiety.
nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
The amount of anxiety that people have, there could be like a whole mess of chest pains, whole mess of, oh my
Well, the
God.
hospital is not gonna be the place they're gonna see you.
And they're also going to be
We have a
scared,
record, we have 5 people.
and they're going to go to the hospital simply for a peace of mind, but they're not going to find it there, which is going to put them in a bigger panic mode. So the hospital is actually going to be a very dangerous place to be in a matter of hours.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I know there are probably plenty of people who would be out to raid the hospital.
Right, and we'll get locked down.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And your local security guys will do nothing then too.
So rent a cop, I'm going home.
Exactly.
I'm
They're the
sorry.
ones who are worried.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to add? Anybody say before I kind of wrap things up here?
Nope.
Going once, going twice. Okay. So in 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about the sequence of events, the first 3 days after something happens. So we have day 1 where people are thinking this should be fixed.
In theory.
Corey had mentioned that the hospitals are going to be turning people away, and then, I mean, there's a delay, so that's why
Okay,
this is
yeah.
coming in now.
Corey.
Yeah.
Pat says everyone will want a cab voucher and a turkey sandwich to go.
Boom! Hey, don't forget the mayo.
I'm gonna need that turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
But, okay, so, first day, everybody thinks it's gonna be fixed. Do you think it's gonna be fixed? That kind of thing. Day 2, more people start to realize it's not just a fluke power outage. Day 3, sewage treatment plants, if they had backup generators that were working, they're probably not working anymore. We're gonna discuss all that in 2 weeks and see how horrified we can get,
Or how many jokes I can make.
or how many jokes you can make. Yes, or how many people we can figure out how we're gonna kill them. Who knows? But anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. By all means, come back through the video, comment where you want to comment. We will be back snooping around the video. Any ideas that you guys have, greatly appreciated. Any thoughts? And hey, thanks. It's been the Doomsday Roundtable. Hope you guys have a great day.
Share the video. Check out our Break Channel 13 podcast on your favorite podcasting thingy. Just look up Break Channel 13. Listen from the beginning.
Yeah, and you'll find last week's
Yeah, you'll
Doomsday,
find that
yeah.
as well, yes.
on podcast.
And definitely check out our website, watershedzprod.com.
Yeah, or
You
you
can
can
emails.
just, or you can just say watershedzz.com. That's ours too.
Right on, right on. Yep, go check it out. We got t-shirts and stuff. Pat says we're awesome, or Anu said we're awesome. That doesn't sound like something Pat would say, so
Really it doesn't. I think that was a new.
probably Anu.
You think they're in a power struggle right now of their very own.
I'm done with all the shameless plugging.
Excellent. Have a great day.